Hello students, good morning. Welcome back to our lecture on polynomials. In today's class, let's look at how to factorize a given polynomial. I mean if it is factorizable, and also let's look at some important theorems and applications of these polynomials. So factoring in algebra. Suppose we already learned what is this word factor means. Numbers have factors, right? Numbers have factors. Say for example 2 times 3 is equal to 6. So here we'll call 2 as the factor of 6, 3 as the factor of 6, right? Similarly, even the polynomial expressions also, they have factors. For example, consider a polynomial, second degree polynomial x square plus 4x plus 3. You can write this as x plus 3 into x plus 1. Okay. If you express this as a product of two linear factors, you will call this x plus 3 as a factor and x plus 1 as a factor. Okay. So factorization means it is splitting the terms, okay, or reducing the degree, expressing that as a product of terms with lesser in degree. So as similar to numbers, even polynomial expressions also do have factors. Now let's see how we can factorize. So factoring, or we'll call the process as factorizing. It is a process of finding the factors. So factoring, what to multiply together to get an expression. It is like splitting an expression into a multiplication of simpler expressions, okay, or simpler expression means the expressions with a lesser degree. So for example, factor 2y plus 6. Students, can you observe anything common in these two terms? See, look at these two terms properly. First one is 2y and the second one is 6. Do you find out anything common? Yes, you can observe that 2 is the common. So write this as 6 as 2 times 3, and now pull that 2 outside. Take that out as common. Then you will be left with 2 times y plus 3. Okay students, 2 times y plus 3. So that means we have factored this given polynomial 2y plus 6 into 2 and y plus 3. So we'll call that 2 as the factor of this. Y plus 3 is a factor of this polynomial. Okay students. So even if you'll expand this, again you will be getting the original question, original polynomial. So one thing is expanding and other thing is factoring. So these are like reverse process. Factoring is also the opposite of expanding. Common factors. In the previous example, we saw that 2y and 6 had a common factor of 2. But to do the job properly, we need the highest common factor. If you could find the highest common factor, in one step you could take out the common thing. Or else each time, say for example, there are terms like 4 and 6, 4 and 8. So simply by taking out 2 common, you will be left with 2 into 2, 2 into 4. Again you can find out 2 as common. So you need to repeat those steps. So instead of that, if you could find out the highest common factor, directly in one step you can take out that factor as common. So, but to do this job properly, we need the highest common factor including any variables. So this I have explained with respect to constant numbers. The same thing with variables we need to do. Say we need to factor 3y square plus 12y. Okay students. So look at these two terms properly, 3y square and 12y. Now students, first of all let's find the common factor between these two. Let's look at the coefficients. What are the coefficients? 3 and 4. So what is the highest common factor between 3 and 12? What is the highest common factor between these numbers 3 and 12? HCF of 3 and 12 is 3. So we'll be taking out 3 as common. And what about the variables? In the first term it is y square and in the second term it is y. So what is the common term you can observe in these variables? That is y. So hence 3 times y will be taking as common. So we can write this as y into 3y and this as 4 into 3y. So take out 3y as common. So you will be left with y plus 4. Okay students. So now you can verify that if you will multiply these two, again you will be getting 3y square plus 12y. Students, one more thing, observe that here after you have factorized this, you can say that 3 is a factor of this polynomial, y is a factor of this polynomial, and y plus 4 is a factor of the given polynomial. Okay, students? Or 3y is also a factor, right? So there are multiple factors. So hope you have understood this method of factorization. Now let's look at another complicated example. Say factoring can be hard. The examples have been simple so far, but factoring can be very tricky, because we have to figure what got multiplied to produce the expression. See, we'll be given some question. We need to factorize them. So we need to find what all expressions, if they get multiplied, we'll be getting the given polynomial. So it is like trying to find which ingredients went into a cake to make it so delicious. Just by looking the cake, okay, by having a taste of it, you should be able to tell its ingredients. So it is like the same thing. You are given the entire polynomial, you need to come out with their factors if there are any. So it can be hard to figure out. Okay, students. So experience will help in this. With more experience, factoring becomes easier and it becomes more intuitive. So let's look at some examples. Say for example, factor 4x square minus 9. Factor 4x square minus 9. They don't seem to be any common factors here, because see, look at the numbers. The coefficients are 4 and 9 and you don't observe anything common. And then what about the variables? The variables in the first term is x square and in the second one 1. So at the outside you don't find anything in common, right? But here the main important thing is knowing these special binomial products gives us a clue called the difference of the squares. Difference of the squares. Students, we have learned one important identity, that is a square minus b square. We can write this as a minus b into a plus b. So whenever some expression is of the form difference of their square, we can factorize in this form. Okay, students? So keep this identity in mind. This is a very, very important one. Now look at the given question. See, look at 4x square. 4x square is nothing but, you can write this as 2x whole square. Right? So 4x square minus 9. This question you can write it as 2x whole square minus 3 square. Okay, students? So that means the given polynomial can be expressed as the difference of the squares. And once we could identify this, that is the difference of the squares, we can factorize that using this identity. A square minus b square is equal to a minus b times a plus b. So hence, this 4x square minus 9, we will write it as a square minus b square is equal to a minus b into a plus b. Here in place of a it is 2x and in place of b it is 3. So this answer would become 2x minus 3 times 2x plus 3. Okay, students? So this is going to be the factorization for the given polynomial. Hope you have understood this. Here simply we have used this identity, the difference of the squares. And we know that a square minus b square is equal to a minus b times a plus b. Now, students, similarly, try to remember these identities. So all these identities would help you while factoring. So here is a list of common identities including the difference of squares used in a previous example. It is worth remembering these as they can make factoring easier. See, look at this, students. First one is a square minus b square. We can factor that into a plus b times a minus b. And the second one is a plus b whole square. A plus b whole square. A plus b whole square means what? That is the factor a plus b multiplied with itself 2 times. So a plus b times a plus b. And then the third one, a minus b whole square. This is the formula for a minus b whole square. So again, a minus b whole square means what? Using your exponent form, a minus b multiplied with itself So a minus b times a minus b, and then a cube plus b cube. These are very important formulas. Just keep in mind. Try to memorize this. A cube plus b cube, that is a plus b, that is sum of these two terms, and then a square minus ab plus b square. Students, don't get confused here. It is minus sign. Whenever you are adding two cubes, in between here you will get minus sign. Okay, if a cube minus b cube, then you will get a minus b times a square plus ab plus b square. If you could memorize this one, this formula is pretty easy. Simply substitute minus b in place of a cube plus b cube is there, right? Substitute minus b in place of b. And we know that minus b whole cube is minus b cube. So hence you will get the formula for this. So right hand side would become, when you substitute minus b in place of b, right hand side would become a minus b, and a square minus a times of minus b plus minus b whole square. So this is going to be a minus b times a square plus ab plus b square. Okay, students. So the second formula is very easy. Simply you will put minus b in place of the plus b in the first formula. A cube plus b cube, a plus b times a square minus ab plus b square. In the second term, it starts with a square. Students, here simply we will write the sum of the terms a plus b, and then look at the first term over here, that is a cube, right? So a, with what you need to multiply to get a cube? A multiplied with a square will give you a cube. So in the first term, put a square, and then go on decreasing the powers. So here a square is there. In the next term, write a, and in the next time don't write any term of a. And similarly, increase the powers of b. Here there is no power of b. Here put b power 1, and then in the next term b power 2. The only thing you need to remember is in between you will be getting minus symbol. Okay, students. And similarly this formula. And another important identity is a plus b whole cube. A cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square plus b cube. This, if you will factorize, you can write this as a plus b into a plus b into a plus b. Okay, a plus b is a repeated factor, repeating 3 times. So remember these identities. These are very, very important. And also this formula you can write in also in another way, like a plus b whole cube. We can write this as a cube plus b cube plus 3ab times a plus b. Okay, students. Similarly, a minus b whole cube also. A minus b whole cube, we can write it as a cube minus b cube minus 3ab times a minus b. Because sometimes in the question they will give you directly the value of a plus b. So in those cases, this formula would help you. Okay. So please memorize all these identities. They are very, very important. Now, a piece of advice for you. The factored form is usually best. So when trying to factor, follow these steps. Factor out any common terms and see if it fits any of the identities plus any more you may know. Okay. Keep going till you can't factor anymore. Make sure that you can't factor anymore. Till that last step you keep factoring. So let's explore some examples. Say w power 4 minus 16. Okay, students. W power 4 minus 16. So clearly you are not able to see out any common factor at the outset because the coefficients are 1 and 16. There is nothing in common, and there is nothing in common in variables as well. So the next step is observe, is it corresponding to any of the identity we have learned? See, here it is a difference, right? In between, that is a subtraction symbol. So now think of the identities what you know related to subtraction. One is difference of the squares. So observe that, can you express this as the difference of the squares? Yes, if you'll observe it, w power 4 we can write it as w square whole square, and 16 we can write it as 4 whole square. So this can be expressed as a difference of the squares. Now it is the difference of squares, and we know how to factor difference of the squares, a plus b into a minus b. So you will get w square plus 4 into w square minus 4. Okay students, now w square plus 4, this is not factorizable, whereas if you look at w square minus 4, w square minus 4, again this is in the form a minus b times a plus b. So we can write this as w plus 2 and into w minus 2. This is as far as I can go unless I use imaginary numbers. If imaginary numbers are allowed, we can even factorize this, but right now it is beyond your level, so don't worry about this. So this quadratic expression is not factorizable in real terms. So hence this is the best what we can do when it comes to factorizing the given polynomial. Okay students, let's look at another example. Say 3u power 4 minus 24uv cube. Okay students, first let's look at the coefficients. Do you find anything in common? Yes, there is a factor of 3 which is in common. And then let's look at the variables. See, in the left hand side you find the term u power 4, and in the second term you are having a term u. So what is the common thing in these variables, u power 4 and u? So u. And then next, what about variable v? In the first term there is no variable v, whereas in the second term it is v cube. So hence there is nothing in common. So hence 3u is the common thing what we can get at the outset. So what we'll do is, let's take it out. So if you take 3u outside, the given expression 3u power 4 minus 24uv cube, this first term we can write it as 3u times u cube, and the second term we can write it as 3u times 8v cube. Okay students, now let's take 3u as common. So we'll be left with u cube minus 8v cube. Okay students, now look at this term. Is this term factorizable? So at an outside you can't factorize this. Do you see any common in numbers or any variables? No. Now let's look at the identities what we know. So are you able to think of any identity? See, look at these numbers are the form of perfect cubes. So and the symbol in between is minus. So let's try to use the difference of the cubes formula. There is one identity which we have discussed in a previous slide, that is a cube minus b cube is equal to a minus b times a square plus ab plus b square. Okay students, so now see, this is in that form. We can write this as u cube minus 2v whole cube. So the given expression we can write in this form, a cube minus b cube. So let's use this identity, a cube minus b cube is equal to a minus b times a square plus ab plus b square to factorize. So if you factorize, you will get u minus 2v times u square plus ab. Ab means u into 2v, so that is going to be a 2uv plus b square, that is 2v whole square, so 4v square. So this is all what we can factorize over here. Okay students, so let's look at another example. See, z cube minus z square minus 9z plus 9. Students, here if you will observe all these four terms, you don't find anything in common, because here there are z terms and here there is constant, so you don't find. But suppose try to factorize the first two and then the last two, then let's see what happens. See, if you try to factorize the first two, here in the first term of the first two terms, that is z cube, and the second one is z square. If you will observe that z square is common, so let's take that as outside. So the first two terms we can rewrite it as z square times z minus 1. And similarly, look at the last two terms. In the last two terms, 9 is a common thing. Even let's take minus as common. So we can write these last two terms as minus 9 times z minus 1. Now the interesting observation is, see, z minus 1 is coming as common in both of these. So now take z minus 1 as common out of this. Okay, let's bring z minus outside, z minus 1. Then we'll be left with z square minus 9. Now again see this interesting thing what is happening over here. This z square minus 9 is nothing but difference of the squares. This you can write as z square minus 3 whole square. And we know how to use the difference of the squares, how to factorize it. A square minus b square, we can write it as a minus b times a plus b. So z square minus 3 is equal to z minus 3 times z plus 3. And z minus 1 is a factor. Okay. So this is as far as we can go, students. Okay. So, okay students, with this let me wind up our today's discussion, and in tomorrow's lecture I'll be discussing about the remainders theorem and factors theorem, which forms a very basis for solving polynomials and finding the roots, which are very important even in practical applications of life. Okay students, thank you. Let's meet tomorrow.